Hey there, I'm Mealtime Mentor Jenny, and I'm here with Gerald of Kohler Original Recipe Chocolates. This is part of our Sips and Snacks series where we pair delicious drinks with tasty food. And today we're going to be talking all about Kohler Chocolates. So before we get started with the pairing, Gerald, could you give us a little brief history about Kohler?
Absolutely. So one of the first questions that I usually ask people when we're talking about chocolates is, have you ever heard of Kohler Company? You'd be amazed at how many people say no when I ask that question, because we're talking about chocolates. It's not until I say, specifically, you probably are thinking of the kitchen and bath portion of Kohler Company. And then all of a sudden you can literally see a light bulb go on above somebody's, oh yeah, that Kohler Company. It's the same company. And then usually the question that gets followed up with that is, well, why are you doing anything with chocolates? Why does a plumbing company want anything to do with chocolates? And Kohler Company is just an incredibly broad business. There's tremendous amounts of portfolios, and Herb Kohler has a very diversified mindset, and he has a passion for hospitality. He also happens to love chocolates. So
who doesn't, right?
Exactly. And the reason why this even started is he wanted to find the world's best turtle, and he couldn't find it. So his natural solution to that was, you know what? Let's challenge the chefs at the American Club to make that. And 100 recipe variations later, we landed on what's our original Buttery Terrapin.
Right, and we will be tasting that terrapin today.
Absolutely.
Could you just describe a little bit about what sets this terrapin apart from other turtles?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So not just the terrapin, but all of our chocolates are 100% handmade. And so putting that in perspective, a lot of times you lose sight of that when you're biting into a piece of chocolate. You're probably not thinking much beyond, hey, this is a piece of chocolate and I really happen to like it, or whatever thoughts go through your mind when you're enjoying chocolate. But every single one of our pieces, we have a team of chocolatiers that are assembling it almost as if it's a puzzle. So our original Buttery Terrapin specifically is a multi-layered piece. There's chocolate, caramel, chocolate, and then a pecan. But it's not as simple as that. So the caramel specifically is built in a way that the caramel is cooked to various temperatures and actually a couple of different times and proportions. So it's cooked almost to the point of being burnt, and then cooled back off. And then the other two are cooked at different temperatures as well. And what we blend together is what we land on our final piece here. And the intention for that is to have a really rich, robust, smoky caramel taste to it.
Awesome. And we had the opportunity to tour the production facility right in Kohler. Mm-hmm. And it was really amazing to see just how much you all get done in such a small space. And I loved just seeing how passionate the chocolatiers are about their art. And like you said, it really is an art. They're doing so much by hand. Mm-hmm. And it made me appreciate the chocolate that much more, because you don't really think about all that when you're taking a bite of chocolate, but being able to see it in person was really cool.
Putting that in perspective too, we want to talk about the handmade aspect. Our team will walk just short of a mile for every single terrapin that's made.
That's absolutely mind-blowing. It's a lot of work. So when we eat these chocolates, we need to really appreciate it. So should we dive in with the pairings?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so the first drink we have is the Kohler Dark Chocolate Brandy Old Fashioned. And what are we pairing with that?
We're pairing it with our original Buttery Terrapin. And again, to give some context to this as to why we do it, eating a chocolate is only part of the experience. And one of the things that we love to do is create what we call extraordinary moments. And we want to give people something to do when they take the product home, or the chocolate home. It's great, I can eat it and enjoy it. But you can also use it for entertaining, for gift giving, to create experiences with your guests, something that's very simple to do in your own home. And so we like to pair it with different drinks, whether it's a beer or a wine or a cocktail. In this case, we chose cocktails. And the whole point of it is there's no science to it. It's just a matter of preference. We just happen to enjoy these pairings. But when you bite into it, you're getting half of the experience. And then when you drink the beverage or whatever it is, you're finishing the rest of that experience. So there actually is a small way that you want to go about doing this. So I like to start by taking the chocolates. Take a small bite of the chocolate, and then as you're doing that, I'll just talk through it and you can go ahead and try it. So when you're taking a bite of the chocolate, let the chocolate just kind of break down and melt in your mouth. And right before you're finishing it, while you still have some of the chocolate taste on your palate, that's when you want to take a sip of the cocktail. And then once you're done taking a sip of the cocktail, take another bite of the chocolate. And that's really how you get that holistic experience on there. And what you should notice is that the flavors really start to come together on your palate and really start to complement each other very well.
Absolutely delicious.
So the next one that we have, I'll let you talk through the cocktail and then I'll talk with the chocolate here.
This is a bourbon holiday punch, so it has some orange in it and then pomegranate and of course bourbon.
Yeah, so for me, bourbon, I love that. That's one of my favorite drinks in whiskey. But then we have another terrapin that's called our Cranberry Terrapin. And this one's going to be with a white chocolate, not a milk chocolate. And the caramel is going to be cooked very similar, but then we put cranberries in it as well. And so what that does is it's going to give it a really nice fruity flavor. So when you bite into it, it's going to be sweeter, it's going to be fruitier, that taste is really going to come forward. And that's why we felt it would work really well with this holiday punch cocktail.
All right, so same thing?
Yep, same thing.
Bite,
so just,
bite.
take a bite. And again, it's not like you have to do it this way every single time. When you have your guests over, you don't want to make them feel weird and be like, no, you have to do it exactly this way. It's just a good way to have fun. And then as the night continues on, and if you're wanting to introduce various cocktail options or dessert options, it's just a fun way to conclude the evening or to, intermingle with your guests throughout the night.
The white chocolate is a really fun twist on this one. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. And then our final cocktail is Peppermint Martini.
Yeah, so this one we're pairing with our Peppermint Crunch Terrapin. This is different than our other terrapins. This one actually doesn't have any nuts in it, so our base on this one is like a thin mint type cookie. We don't use a thin mint, but it's a similar style cookie to give you the perspective of it. And then we use a 61% dark chocolate crushed peppermint with peppermint extract. When we were talking to our chocolatiers about this, our head chocolatier, Crystal, when we asked her what this terrapin was like, she said, if I could put Christmas in your mouth, this would be it. But the point of that is, and the reason why I laugh when she tells us these things, is she likes the chocolates to take you somewhere. So when you bite into it, it's more than just the taste, but it's actually taking you to a moment in time or something, a memory. You can, just like we're sitting in front of a fireplace here, it gives you that perspective.
Absolutely delicious. I love how it tastes like Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today, Gerald, and we hope all of you pick up a box of these chocolates at our store and give these pairings a try at home. And happy drinking. Cheers.